あなたに捕まえられる？あれ買ってきて。そうだね。
Heaven or hell, duel one. Let's rock!
Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode. Today we're taking a look at Guilty Gear Xrd for the PlayStation 4, which is also available for the Vita and PS3, and brought to us by Arc System Works and released back in December of last year. Guilty Gear Xrd has a plethora of modes to try out and enjoy, and it boasts a roster of 17 total characters, which is a little bit light, but it's still 3 more than that of the arcade game. Worth noting too is that the game now runs on the Unreal Engine, and the characters are cel-shaded instead of the classic 2D sprites that we've all become accustomed to. And I think the aesthetic choice works really well for this game, since it allows the developers to do some awesome things with the visual style, like panning around the characters during special attacks, or seamlessly incorporate anime-style cutscenes within the fight.
Win.
The fight intros for each character are a spectacle to see the first time around, and the finishing moves are insane and over the top. Easily one of my favorite things about Xrd. There's lots of stuff to do here. Battle mode works essentially the same as an arcade mode, where you'll take on 8 challengers and unravel the story of whichever character you're using. Network will let you hop online and take on other players from across the globe in lobby matches, ranked, and player matches. MOM is basically just survival, where you earn medals based on how well you do. Guilty Gear Xrd utilizes 4 buttons for your main attacks, which are your punch, kick, slash, and heavy slash, and 2 more buttons for unique actions like dashes, cancels, or even throws. On the PlayStation 4, the game handles like a dream. Everything feels so fast and responsive, and the controls never feel overly complicated or obtuse. You never really feel like you have to struggle to get moves or combos out. I really couldn't be happier with the way that it handles. So it looks amazing and handles like you wouldn't believe, so how about the sound and music? Just as stellar. The sound design has always been a hallmark of the Guilty Gear series, and Xrd sure doesn't disappoint in that area. The voices and music tracks are some of the best that the series has ever seen, and you can even unlock older music tracks from the previous games for use here. Everything has a very obvious heavy metal vibe to it that fits the badassness of the game perfectly. Seriously, the music in this game kicks ass. I catch myself humming the themes well after I'm done playing it. If you've got a way to get a hold of the soundtrack, I definitely recommend it. Going back to the visuals, I mean, just freaking look at it. In my opinion, I think it's one of the best looking fighting games I've ever seen. The background details are unbelievable, as are the effects on the special moves and just about all of the super attacks. Speaking of which, you'll have 2 gauges to work with while fighting, the burst and tension gauges. The burst gauge will let you break away from your opponent, and the tension gauge is basically your super meter. It'll allow you to unleash different super attacks depending how much of it is filled up. The online works pretty well in Xrd, albeit a bit convoluted. There's a pretty in-depth lobby system where you create an avatar and wander around in virtual arcades looking for challenges. Again, it works, but it's just not super user-friendly if you just want to hop online real quick for a couple of matches. Luckily, the netcode is good and the matches hold up pretty well even over shady connections. I haven't had any major issues yet with frame delay, but keep in mind that I'm far from an expert player. From what I've seen, the community is kinda small online, but the game is cross-platform with the PS3 version, so that helps to open up your odds of getting a good match. To wrap up, Guilty Gear Xrd is an incredibly cool game and a must-own for the PlayStation 4. The graphics and sound are mind-blowing, and the gameplay itself is fluid and action-packed. It's easy to jump into and enjoy without being too simplistic for the hardcore players. It does a really good job of walking that line between being accessible to newer players and still being enjoyable to the rest of us that have watched the series grow into what it is today. With its solid online play and several modes to choose from and enjoy, this is a game I can't recommend enough. Again, it's available on the PS4, PS3, and the Vita, so choose your preferred platform and commence the ass-kicking.
Chip, win.
As always, guys, I'd like to thank you all for watching, subscribing, and commenting, and we'll see you next time.
子供の火遊び危ないわよ。大人の火遊びは燃えるけどリアルには使わない。
Destroy.